The evening traffic hummed softly as Daniel pulled his car toward the red light near the old bus stop. It was one of those forgotten stops, the kind people used only when they had no other choice. As the light changed, he noticed a small figure sitting on the metal bench. She was alone, too alone, a young girl, no more than 12, holding a worn backpack tightly to her chest. Her eyes were open, but they didn't follow the movement around her. They stared into nothing. Daniel slowed the car, a strange heaviness settling in his chest. He was a single father. He knew what it meant to worry about a child when the world felt unsafe. He tried to drive past. He really did, but something about the way the girl tilted her head, listening instead of looking, made his hands tremble on the steering wheel. He parked and stepped out. The girl stiffened when she heard footsteps. Her fingers tightened around the straps of her bag. "It's okay," Daniel said gently. "I'm not here to hurt you." She turned her face toward his voice. Her eyes were clouded, unfocused. "Blind. Are you waiting for someone?" he asked. She nodded, but it was hesitant. "My aunt," she said. "She said she'd be back." "How long have you been here?" The girl paused, counting silently in her head. Since it was still bright. Daniel glanced at the sky. The sun had already dipped low. "Hours. Way too long." "My name's Daniel," he said. "What's yours?" "Lily." Her voice was calm, practiced, like someone used to being brave when she shouldn't have to be. "Lily, do you know your aunt's phone number?" he asked. She shook her head. "She took my phone. Said I'd lose it." That knot in his chest tightened. Daniel offered to buy her something warm to drink from the nearby kiosk. She hesitated, then nodded. As they sat together, he noticed things most people wouldn't. Her shoes were a size too small. Her jacket was thin for the cold. And her backpack, it was almost empty. Inside, his instincts were screaming. When he asked about her parents, her hands started to shake. "My mom died," she whispered. "My dad, I don't know where he is." Daniel swallowed hard. He had heard that tone before. His own son had used it when asking why his mother wasn't coming back. "Did your aunt tell you where she was taking you today?" he asked carefully. "She said we were going somewhere better," Lily replied. "Somewhere I wouldn't be a burden." That word hit him like a punch. Daniel stood and walked a few steps away, pulling out his phone. He called the non-emergency police line, describing the situation calmly, clearly. When he returned, Lily tilted her head. "Are you leaving?" she asked softly. "No," he said quickly. "I promise." She let out a breath she'd been holding for hours. As they waited, Daniel tried to keep her talking. He asked about school. Lily smiled faintly as she described learning music by sound, how she loved the piano because it didn't care if you could see. Then she said something that made his blood run cold. "My aunt said if I waited quietly, someone nice would take me." Daniel felt the world tilt. "What do you mean, take you?" he asked. "She said families don't want broken kids. So I should be grateful if anyone did." The truth slammed into him all at once. She hadn't been forgotten. She'd been abandoned, deliberately. Daniel knelt in front of Lily, his voice shaking despite his effort to stay calm. "Lily, listen to me. You are not broken. And you are not alone. Not anymore." She didn't cry. Instead, she reached out slowly until her hand brushed his sleeve. "You sound honest," she said. The police arrived soon after, along with a social worker. Lily's fingers clung to Daniel's jacket as they explained what would happen next. Temporary care, questions, safety. When they asked Daniel if he knew the child, he surprised himself by saying, "I'd like to stay with her, if that's okay." Lily's head snapped up toward his voice. "You don't have to," she said quickly. "I know I'm a lot." Daniel closed his eyes for a second, steadying himself. "So am I," he replied. "And my son. But we manage." The social worker studied him carefully. "You're a single father." "Yes." "Any experience with visually impaired children?" "No," Daniel admitted, "but I have experience loving a kid who needs it." Something shifted in the air. Days turned into weeks. Lily stayed in temporary care, but Daniel visited every chance he got, often bringing his son, Noah. At first, Lily was quiet around him. Then Noah handed her his favorite toy and said, "You can hear it squeak better than I can." That was the moment Daniel knew his life had already changed. During the investigation, the truth came out. Lily's aunt had taken her inheritance money, then left her at the bus stop with a lie and a hope she wouldn't be found. The case made Daniel sick to his stomach. But it also made his resolve stronger. When the social worker finally asked if he wanted to pursue guardianship, Daniel didn't hesitate. "Yes," he said, "if she wants me to." They asked Lily privately. Her answer was simple. "He stops when people need help," she said. "That's how I know." Months later, Daniel stood in their small kitchen, listening to Lily play the piano. Noah sat beside her, counting keys aloud. The sound filled the house with something warm and steady. Daniel leaned against the doorway, overwhelmed by the quiet miracle of it all. He had stopped at a bus stop thinking he might help a stranger for a few minutes. Instead, he discovered a truth that shocked him to his core. Some people don't come into your life by accident. They are left where your heart is finally ready to find them.